Have you ever wondered why it feels impossible to go for a morning run, but scrolling through your phone happens without a second thought? The answer lies deep in your brain's wiring. Habits aren't just routines, they're powerful neural pathways that control nearly half of everything you do each day. Some habits build you up, while others slowly drain your potential. Today, we're unlocking the secrets of habit psychology, revealing exactly how your brain creates these automatic behaviors and, more importantly, how you can reprogram them. By the end of this video, you'll understand the invisible forces shaping your daily life and gain practical tools to build the habits you want while breaking the ones holding you back. We're about to take a fascinating journey through your brain's habit-forming machinery. First, we'll decode the cue, routine, reward loop, the three-part formula behind every habit you have. Then we'll bust the myth about how long habits actually take to form. The real number might surprise you. We'll explore decision fatigue, the hidden energy drain that makes willpower unreliable. You'll discover why some habits feel effortless, while others require constant struggle. We'll examine real-world examples that show these principles in action, separate common myths from scientific truth, and reveal practical strategies you can start using today. Finally, we'll look at what cutting-edge research tells us about the future of behavior change. Let's dive into the psychology that runs your life. Every habit follows the same three-step pattern discovered by researchers studying brain activity. First comes the cue, a trigger that tells your brain to switch into automatic mode. This could be a time of day, a location, an emotion, or even the presence of certain people. Next is the routine, the actual behavior itself, whether it's biting your nails or going for a run. Finally, there's the reward, the payoff your brain gets that makes it remember and repeat the whole sequence. Your brain literally carves neural pathways for these loops, making them stronger each time you repeat them. The phone scrolling habit, for example, uses notifications as cues, scrolling as the routine, and dopamine hits from new content as the reward. Understanding this loop is your first step toward taking control. You've probably heard it takes 21 days to form a habit, but that's a myth. Researchers at University College London studied habit formation and found the real average is 66 days. However, the range varied wildly, from 18 days for simple habits like drinking water after breakfast to over 250 days for complex behaviors like daily exercise routines. The complexity of the behavior, your consistency, and your environment all play crucial roles. Scientists think the brain needs this time to build and strengthen the neural pathways that make behaviors automatic. This means two things. First, don't give up after 3 weeks when nothing feels automatic yet. Second, expect easier habits to stick faster than difficult ones. Knowing the real timeline helps you set realistic expectations. Here's something fascinating. Your brain has a limited supply of decision-making energy each day. Every choice you make, from what to wear to whether you should work out, drains this mental battery. This phenomenon is called decision fatigue. Researchers estimate we make over 35,000 decisions daily, and each one chips away at our willpower reserves. This explains why it's easier to skip the gym after a long day of meetings. You've depleted your decision-making fuel. It's also why successful people like Steve Jobs wore the same outfit daily, eliminating trivial decisions to preserve mental energy for important ones. The key insight? Willpower isn't a character trait, it's a limited resource. Understanding this changes everything about how you approach habit building. Want to know the easiest way to build good habits and break bad ones? Change your environment. Your surroundings act as constant cues triggering your habit loops. Researchers have found that people who restructure their physical space succeed far more often than those relying on willpower alone. If you want to exercise more, lay out your workout clothes the night before. This creates a visual cue and removes friction. Want to stop eating junk food? Don't rely on self-control. Simply don't buy it. One study showed that people ate 60% more candy when it was on their desk versus 6 feet away. Your environment quietly shapes your behavior every moment. By designing spaces that make good habits obvious and easy, and bad habits invisible and difficult, you work with your brain's natural tendencies instead of fighting them. Here's a powerful technique. Attach new habits to existing ones. Scientists call this habit stacking, and it leverages the neural pathways you've already built. The formula is simple. After I do current habit, I will do new habit. For example, after you pour your morning coffee, you do 2 minutes of stretching. After you brush your teeth at night, you lay out tomorrow's clothes. Your existing habit becomes the cue for the new one. Researchers found this works because you're not creating a new cue from scratch. You're piggybacking on an established routine. One leading explanation is that linked behaviors share neural networks, making them easier to encode together. The key is choosing an existing habit that's already automatic and consistent. What existing routine could become your anchor for positive change? Let's clear up some common misconceptions. Myth 1. Habits take exactly 21 days to form. Truth. The average is 66 days, with huge variation. Myth 2. You need massive motivation to change. Truth. Small, consistent actions beat intense motivation that fades quickly. Researchers have found that motivation is unreliable, but systems and environmental design work consistently. Myth 3. Breaking bad habits means using more willpower. Truth. It's actually about removing cues and replacing routines, not strengthening self-control. Myth 4. Missing one day ruins your habit. Truth. Studies show that occasional misses don't significantly impact long-term habit formation. Consistency matters more than perfection. One fascinating finding: your brain doesn't distinguish between good and bad habits. It just reinforces what you repeat. Understanding these truths helps you stop blaming yourself and start using strategies that actually work. Let's make this practical right now. Think of one habit you want to change, either building a new one or breaking an existing one. Can you identify its 3 components? What's the cue that triggers it? A specific time, place, or feeling? What's the actual routine or behavior? And what reward does your brain get from it? For phone scrolling, the cue might be boredom. The routine is opening social media, and the reward is novelty and distraction. For a positive habit you want to build, like reading, you could create a cue by placing a book on your pillow. Make the routine sitting and reading for 10 minutes, and create a reward by tracking your progress visually. Scientists think that consciously identifying these components gives you power over unconscious patterns. Take 15 seconds right now and break down one habit. Understanding habit psychology isn't just interesting, it's life-changing. Consider this. If you improve by just 1% each day, you'll be 37 times better in a year due to compound effects. Researchers estimate that 40 to 45% of our daily actions are habitual, not conscious decisions. This means nearly half your life runs on autopilot. The quality of your habits directly determines your health, productivity, relationships, and long-term success. People who master their habits report lower stress because they've eliminated constant decision-making. They achieve more because productive behaviors become automatic. One study of millionaires found that successful people had systematically built strong habits around learning, health, and focused work. When you control your habits, you're essentially programming the operating system of your life. The impact compounds daily, creating dramatic differences over time. Habit research continues to evolve, and there's still much we don't fully understand. Scientists are currently investigating why some people seem naturally better at forming habits while others struggle. Genetics may play a role, but environmental factors appear more significant. Researchers are exploring how digital technology is creating entirely new types of habit loops that our brains didn't evolve to handle. One leading question: can we predict which habit-building strategies will work best for specific personality types? New brain imaging studies are revealing that habits involve more brain regions than previously thought, connecting memory, emotion, and motor control in complex ways. What we still don't know is whether there's an upper limit to how many habits one person can maintain simultaneously. These unknowns represent exciting frontiers that could revolutionize how we understand self-improvement. Let's quickly recap what you've discovered today. Habits follow a three-part cue, routine, reward loop that your brain automates through repetition. They typically take 66 days to form, not 21, and the timeline varies based on complexity. Decision fatigue explains why willpower fails, making environmental design more effective than self-control alone. Habit stacking and strategic environment changes are your most powerful tools. Remember, myths about perfection and motivation can hold you back. Consistency beats intensity every time. So here's your challenge. Pick one small habit to build this week using what you've learned. Design your environment, identify your cue and reward, and stack it onto an existing routine. If you found this valuable, subscribe to Easy Learning for more brain science insights that actually improve your life. What habit will you build first? Let us know in the comments below.